Welcome back to Should I Stay or Should I Go? Where we have been talking about the decision of whether or not to end your marriage and what that looks like, and all the different things that you need to consider, the common myths, common mistakes. And today we're going to be talking about gathering your documentation. And I know that right off the bat, that does not sound like anything fun at all, but it's a necessary thing. So we're going to talk about it today. And I'm joined, I'm Elizabeth Rose. Oops, and I bumped my table. I'm Elizabeth Rose. I am a certified divorce lender, and I help divorcing clients maneuver through or navigate through the different components of divorce in regards to their real property, taxes, the legal aspect, income, child support, and so forth, and helping both parties reach that destination in the way that sets them both up for the most amount of success that we can hope for in that process. And I'm joined by my good friend, Allison Jeffries. Hello, Allison.
Hey, Elizabeth. Glad to be here. So I'm Allison Jeffries. I'm the author of the Amazon bestselling book, A Woman's Guide to Surviving Divorce. I myself have been through divorce twice. First, my starter marriage, and then the longer one that came with kids and all the fun. And I am now a divorce coach. And what I prefer to consider myself as is a life recreation coach, where I help women that are living in the shadow of divorce, either contemplating, in the middle, or post-divorce, living in the aftermath, navigate the legal, financial, and emotional issues that come with divorce to recreate their lives and learn to live on their own terms and create a life of meaning and happiness going forward.
So today we're talking about fun paperwork. And I know everybody hates it. Even me, and I work in a paperwork filled industry. But one of the common questions I get is, why do I need to do this first? Why can't I just do it like later on when you need it, when you need me to give it to you? And there's a lot of reasons, but the earlier you do this in the process, then the more likely you're going to have the information not only in your hand, but top of mind when you go in to have those conversations, whether it's with your spouse, your not yet ex-spouse, or your attorney. And it's so important to know your numbers and know your stuff, because not all of it is numbers, but know what you have and where it is. So so we have to do it. It's no fun. And the other thing too is, like, as you're starting to move into this, maybe a separated living arrangement or so forth, that paperwork can easily get misplaced, lost, packed away, or heaven forbid, swiped by the other person. So it's just so important to get your hands on it. And, even if you end up not going through a divorce, it's important that you know where everything is and what you have and how to find it, how to get your hands on it.
That is so important, Elizabeth. And to that, I want to just say, you don't know what you don't know. And the best time to gather this information is before everything gets crazy and frenetic, and possibly people are moving, things are disappearing, things are getting lost. By taking care of this up front, because it is one of those hurdles that I can tell you, I am not a paperwork person. I hate it. It gives me that sense of confidence and calm that I need at a time when confidence and calm is in a very short supply. And the chances of finding things that you wouldn't have known to ask for are much greater if you start this documentation process before the big old D word has ever been slapped up on the bulletin board of your life. So
Exactly.
the earlier you do this, the better off you're going to be. And if you don't go through and with this and you end up staying where you are, it helps you become just a better participant in your marriage by knowing all of this stuff and having it as part of your relationship.
And that is so true. And I think that, that's one area where women we've tended to kind of sell ourselves short. We say, oh, that's his job, we'll let him take care of it. And we put our head in the sand. And I think all women have a responsibility to themselves and to their family to know what's going on financially and, with all the other things that we're going to, address here. We aren't going to go, we're going to spare you going through the list of documentation, but we are going to include a link below so that you can grab that list and start going through it for yourself and figuring out what you have, what you don't have, and start preparing for that point in time when you may in fact be meeting with an attorney. So,
Elizabeth, I'm going to jump in here on top
Sure.
of you, and I apologize for that. But here's where I have that word of caution that I went through, and that I managed the money. I earned the money in my second divorce. I was the one that did all of this. But that doesn't mean there aren't things you still don't know or that have been arranged over here somewhere for the benefit of someone else. And so I went into it blindly thinking I had an understanding of everything, only to find out that I didn't. And so I would just caution you, whether you've never been involved or you've been involved, go into it with your eyes open, looking for things that don't look right or that you've never seen before or have you even considered. And so one of those things is safety deposit boxes.
Yes.
Do you have a safety deposit box? Does he have a safety deposit box? And one of the mistakes I made was assuming we had a safety deposit box and everything in it was safe. Right?
It is safe for whoever has a key.
Yes. And when I went to access the safety deposit box, guess who had accessed it 6 months before I even thought to go check out what was in it anymore. So just to let you know, it's even if you are the woman in control, sometimes you don't know what's going on that you're not aware of.
Oh, that is so true. The other thing too, kind of along the lines of safe deposit box, is a safe, the home safe. And just like you knew what was in there and then it disappeared, we had a home safe and we had cash in there and we had some bonds in there and we had some things in there, and it just walked out all by itself, just walked right out the door. I didn't know about it. I didn't know that it had disappeared. So you want to make sure that you're checking all of these places that are known, but then do a little bit of, Inspector Clouseau work and be a little detective in your own little household and look for other things that you may not know about.
And we're not suggesting that you go in and remove items. That's not it at all. But document what's in there, even if it means taking pictures of what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's some trail of evidence with a picture with a date on it that says, as of this date, this, and this, and this, we're in that safe, or we're in that safety deposit box. That was really all I needed to do, was go in and take pictures of what was in the safety deposit box. But once I didn't have pictures and they'd been removed, there was no way for me to prove what was ever in that box.
Right. Mm-hmm. And by getting all these items, it allows you the opportunity to create a budget, to prepare for mediation or your attorney meeting. You may need them for discovery. If you end up going to court, you may need these things. And then certainly the aftermath, once you're through with a divorce and you need to get housing, whether you're renting or getting a mortgage, you may need some of this documentation. So it's really critical that you have a copy of it, the paperwork that's in the list that we're going to be giving you. And then, I think there's two ways to collect things. Either you're a little old school and everything is paper, and so you want photocopies, or if you're more in the tech, mindset these days, electronic copies. Those work perfectly too. So you just need to have a copy of everything. And I can't think of any other way, certainly photographs, of certain things that you can't document with a piece of paper. That would be helpful too.
And when in doubt, save it. That is one of the most important things, because having that first bank account statement from before you ever split up, to having the next bank account statement, to the next bank account statement, to the next bank account statement, to that fourth bank account or fifth bank account statement, when all of a sudden there's no money in that account anymore, will protect you and will show when and where things disappeared, should they disappear. So it is a matter of, when in doubt, save it. Worst thing that happens is, when all this is over, you can go through it and have a bonfire and get rid of it all. Okay. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. And when getting ready for mediation, all of those, the more documentation you have, the stronger your stance is. It's all about negotiation at mediation and being able to show. And it's one thing when a woman says, I know he has this much because he told me, and I know this and I know that. But with discovery, the problem is, the judges want to have mediation done within X amount of time of you filing for divorce. And if the discovery's not been given, you don't know unless you've saved these documents and you've got these documents and you can prove, when he says, oh no, I don't have, or no, we never had, oh no, I can prove it. And so it's a matter of having that confidence. It's about being able to not trust yourself to cave, because it's hard, not trust yourself to give up things that you don't want to give up because you don't have the paperwork. Have the paperwork. It gives you the backbone and the confidence that you're going to need to make it through all of these different phases of divorce. And the more you have, the more confident you will be.
That is so true. And what a great way to wrap this up with a bow. It leads to confidence. Knowledge is power. And your word, unfortunately, just doesn't carry any weight. You've got to have the proof. So get the proof. You have the knowledge. Now get the proof, and now you have the confidence to approach this, with your attorney.
Mm-hmm. So the last thing we'd like to say is, and just to be clear, we're not advocating for divorce, and we're hoping that, by going through this process and becoming a little bit stronger, if there's a way to reconcile your marriage, you now are going to be a stronger participant in your marriage. But at the same time, you've got choices and decisions to make. And as a woman, making decisions that come to the core of who we are, a wife, a mother, they're tough. And making those decisions is for many of us, we delay for years because we don't know what to do and we don't have it. So by gathering your documentation, doing things in the right order, knowing what's out there and what your options are, it can go two ways. It means you may decide, or he may decide, that clean break is what you need. And then you can do so on a level playing field where there won't be as much, back and forth, because you do have a firm leg to stand on. Or possibly, if you can reconcile your marriage, you can start off on a fresh footing as equal partners.
Yeah, and that's really how you want to end things and how you want to begin the next season of your life, whatever that is.
Absolutely. Well, Elizabeth, this has been short and sweet. And thank goodness, because it's documenting important stuff, which we don't like.
Well, now we've done it.
Okay.
So go get your documents together.
All right. Well, thanks, Elizabeth, for another great session.
Thank you, and Allison, I appreciate it.